This is the first ever moment that I feel like I'm involved in the society that maybe this could be tested in the Einbürgerungstest because I could have hurt myself. It's super crazy. Everyone just ran together and then we still couldn't catch the train, so we had to wait for another. There were a lot of stories in the past that I wish I could have done something differently so that people dare not I wouldn't say this is a very positive change because it just comes naturally now, like when people say something. Hello, how are you doing? This is Cloris. In my last video, I shared 10 things I still struggle in Germany even though I've been living here for 7 years. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you how I find myself getting Germanized. The first thing I find myself being Germanized is that I can talk about German politics with my friends. A few weeks ago, I also voted the first time for the Bundestag election. This is the first ever moment that I feel like I'm involved in the society, that I am making a certain decision that could influence Germany a little bit, that include a bit of sense of belongings here. Meanwhile, I also complain with my friends together about this political situation, which is quite chaotic. The voting process was similar to what I had in my own city before, but I was still a little bit anxious when I went voting. I had to make sure that I got the letter and read them thoroughly, and I brought my ID card, but at the end I was so shocked that they just checked my letter that they sent me, but they didn't even check my ID card. Before I went voting, I also talked to my German friend and we both had a hard decision to make because honestly speaking, each party has their own pros and cons and we can only try to make the best decision with the information and the knowledge we have. The second trait that you find yourself being Germanized is that you can open the beer bottle with any tools. For myself, I can open a beer bottle with the keys, with a fork, a knife, but I still can't open it with a lighter because I find it a little bit dangerous. So just anything like pretty solid, then I can open the beer bottle with them. Or open a beer bottle with another beer bottle's cap. Yeah, I think this is a really German skill. Maybe this could be tested in the Einbürgerungstest. Number 3 is that I'm no longer afraid of cold weather. I enjoy outdoor activities more than ever. Like on weekends, I would go hiking with my friends and I can play golf in winter. And I figured out what kind of clothes I should be wearing so that I can be more resistant to the coldness. There is a saying in German, es gibt kein schlechtes Wetter, nur schlechte Kleidung. So that means there's no bad weather, only bad clothing. So in order to avoid winter blues or seasonal depression, I would go for a walk more regularly, hopefully every day. If I can't do every day, at least a few times a week. Then number 4 is being super independent. As the labor cost here in Europe is super high, handyman is very expensive and the waiting time is very long. So I try to do everything myself, like moving furniture, assembling furniture, setting up washing machine. After I moved to Munich, I assembled my bed by myself and I connected the washing machine by myself after a lot of trial and errors. There was water leakage before because I didn't use the right tool to tighten the pipes. After I figured it out, it just worked out and I'm super proud of myself, seriously. But if you have friends, I really recommend you to get your friends for help. Otherwise, it's really tough because I could have hurt myself. I'm actually willing to pay someone to help, but then the waiting time is so long and then they just cancel my appointment and I was so desperate to have my washing machine set up and my bed set up. That's why I just tried to do everything by myself and then try to use my stool for leverage when I was assembling the bed. For washing machine, I also checked out the YouTube videos to see how I can connect them with the hose. In Asia, labor cost is not that expensive, so we always get someone to help us. And the handymen are more available in Asia. They can just come to our apartment to set up everything. So I didn't even have to handle all these because I also used to live with my parents. So I don't have any experience doing all these by myself at all. But then in Germany, there's no one that I can rely on. And luckily, my bed and also other furniture are not so heavy, so I can handle it sort of by myself. And I also got a trolley so that I could move the heavier ones like a sofa around with the trolley. And I can move also some other boxes to the basement with the trolley and the elevator, which is not so bad. Number 5 is to dress pragmatically, because in Germany, the weather just fluctuates a lot. So in the morning, it could be kind of cold, and then in the afternoon, it's too warm, and then in the evening, it becomes cold again, because unlike Hong Kong, it was surrounded by sea, so we had the ocean as a buffer for temperature regulations. But then here, the temperature varies greatly during the day, so anytime I have to bring a jacket with me, Even if in summer, in the evening, it could be quite cool. And I'm super sensitive to temperature as well. I tend to feel the difference more than other people. Like some items I brought from Hong Kong to here, but I rarely wear them. For some of them, I've even thrown away already. For example, high heel shoes that I could never wear in Germany. Also, skirts and dresses I rarely wear, but once I'm on vacation, I would take them out. But then even in summer, if I were to go out in the evening, then I couldn't even wear a dress or a skirt because it's kind of cool in the evening. It could be around like 15 degrees or something. It's still too cold for me. I'm too skinny for this. And I don't have enough fat for insulation. Obviously, my body is not built for this country and this weather. It's kind of hard for me at the beginning, but now I just got used to it and then I figured out what clothes I should be wearing. I also have some colleagues wear their hiking clothes every day, so they can just pick the same clothes and same shoes and backpack. So it fits all the weather, all the extreme weather, also a bit more windproof so that we are not afraid of the strong wind. Some items like sweaters and cardigans are not so practical in that case because in Germany it's sometimes quite windy as well. And number 6, I became more patient. There are a lot of unpredictable things happening every single day in Germany. For example, the train delays, for example, train cancelled, as well as the slow bureaucracy that could piss me off a lot when I first came here because these things rarely happened in Hong Kong. So it took me quite a long time to adjust to it. Over time, I just changed my mentality, so I just let things go. Yeah, just go with the flow or just say Scheiße and then move on. Because if the train delays and train cancels would piss me off, then I will be angry all the time. It's not good for my mental health. Like last week, I went to play golf and then I was waiting for the train on the platform to come back home. And then there was a sudden change of platform and the train arrived at platform 2 instead of platform 1, which is the normal platform. And then all the passengers were running to platform 2. But first, we had to run down the staircase and then go through a tunnel to the other side of the platform and then ran up the stairs again. It's super crazy. Everyone just ran together. And then we still couldn't catch the train, so we had to wait for another maybe 20 minutes for the next train. This is actually not uncommon and it happens quite frequently. And number 7 is direct communication. Growing up in Asia, I was a bit more people-pleasing. Sometimes I wouldn't express my needs if it could cause some inconvenience. This could be okay in Asia because people would also be more considerate of others' feelings. But in Germany, if we don't establish our boundaries, we don't voice out or we don't fight for ourselves, then we will suffer a lot. Especially for me, I'm like super small and super soft. I think some people would take advantage of me as well. Like some time ago, I went to the driving school and they offered me this lady as my instructor. I felt like she was testing my boundary. For the first driving lesson, she told me that I had to drive here, there, and then to picked up her dog. Okay, then I've thought maybe this is just for once and she really did it for emergency. But then the second time it happened the same. So we went somewhere to pick up the dog and then we drove to her home to drop off the dog, which is so unfair because I paid for the driving lessons and I didn't expect this. And she also didn't teach me enough skills that I was expecting. And she also asked me to prepay for the next lessons. Some friends told me this is not normal and then she was not even respecting me. I also had the same feeling being treated unfairly, and if I were a tough German guy, I don't think she would do this to me. So after the third class, I just told the receptionist that I needed a new teacher so that I didn't have class with her anymore. Anyway, driving school could be another big story to tell if I get my driving license later, and I will share with you how I went through this whole process. There were a lot of stories in the past that I wish I could have done something differently so that people dare not test my boundaries, people dare not step on me. These days, I'm still learning to trust my gut more and always stand up for myself according to my own feeling. And number 8 is Lüften. Even in winter, I would still Lüften for 2 to 3 times per day to have some fresh air in the apartment. Even though it could be a little bit cold, I would still do it. I think it's a very German habit. But I still can't sleep with the window open because I heard some German people, they would sleep with the window open. But for me, I still can't stand the coldness and the noise, so I still can't make it. And number 9 is the concern of privacy. In the past, I tend to use social media quite a lot to share my photos. These days, I'm keeping a bit more privacy in my life so that I don't really publish that much. But it's kind of contradictory because I'm doing YouTube, but I don't update my Instagram much. I wouldn't say this is a very positive change because I feel like I'm being a bit more closed now. Like I don't share a lot with people comparing to the past, and I shared a lot of like my personal stories and encounters online. But these days I'm being a bit more cautious. Also, when I was filming, maybe I would be a bit more concerned of others' presence in the videos, and I would try to avoid filming people. But it's just also made my life a bit more difficult because I have this awareness that I have to respect other people's privacy as well, and I tried my best to make sure that their faces are blurred or hidden. I think in Asia we didn't care that much, but then here in Europe, not just in Germany, I've encountered a few times like being asked, hey, don't take photos, no videos, no camera and stuff. I tend to become more careful with that. That's why I think vlogging is a little bit challenging here comparing to Asia. So staying at home to film this kind of video is a bit more comfortable so that I don't have to care about what other people think. I don't have to care if my video shooting is making other people uncomfortable. Number 10 is using German in English conversation. Like for me and my friends, we would mix a lot of German words in our conversation. No matter whether we are talking in Cantonese or English, we would still have some mix of German words. And I also tend to use this word a lot, like hä. It just comes naturally now, like when people say something that I didn't get it and I didn't understand it, that I would say hä. Or the other word I use so often is ach so, is like I see. And I also use so way more than before. I think this is a really German thing. Yeah, this is really from the German language. If you are living in Germany, I'm wondering what is the most German habit that you have. Please comment down below to let me know if you have any German habits or German traits that you find it very interesting after living here for a little longer. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Take care and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!